Hey guys, it's PoxiiPro. Welcome back to my third part of sort of my overview for 0 AD, and I pretty much didn't really do much of anything off camera. They still have their defenses up. I think I might send another scout. So yeah, let's just hop right into this. So pretty much I do believe this is probably gonna be my last overview for 0 AD, like the last part of my three-part sort of mini-series thing. So yeah, and this one's pretty much gonna be going over battle mechanics and formations and like just like the best way to kind of going into territory, breaching down turrets, and eventually getting victory. So let's see if we have any AFK workers here. We do have one. So our food production is at an all-time high. We can get her to get wood. You can get some wood as well. Alright, so looking at our charts, we have 2,000 food and only 630 wood. Now, wood is still important to building infantry and our soldiers. So, let's go ahead and see. Maybe we should get some more wood production going, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, let's move some people from stone and iron over here. There we go. Alright, so let's see. Our barracks over here, we made it so that they walk all the way over here. Just simply right click. And so let's go ahead and build let's see, what should we build here? Alright, where's my blacksmith? Right here. Alright, let's go ahead and start upgrading stuff. So right here, iron weapons for extra melee damage. And we still have quite a few troops over here. We can go ahead and build a horseman to scout. We do have enough to start building bolt shooters, which I might, but I think I might use the rams for the turrets, because in my opinion that's usually more efficient than using bolt shooters. But yeah, that's pretty much my thought on that. Alright, cool. So we got our horse guy. I'm gonna go ahead and send in the cavalry. So let's go ahead and scout that out. He can just go on a suicide mission, so I'm pretty much going to send him all the way to the back of the base, and it'll just light up and update the map for us. So we still have these guys working on stone and iron. I think this is iron, that's stone. Alright, so looks like let's go this way. They still have the two turrets in the front. He's already half HP. So they did build a third turret like I did. Wow, okay, they have a fourth turret. Okay, so now they have a lot of turrets, so I think I'm going to need a lot of siege units. I think I might want to go for 4 rams, and I think that'll be enough DPS to go ahead and destroy turrets quick enough while my men are distracting them and fending off units. So let's go ahead and send those guys to chop more wood, and I'm gonna start building up my army. So first things first, I'm not really gonna have much ranged men. I'm probably just gonna be building these skirmishers here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna build a whole bunch of these skirmishers. So hitting shift and left clicking allows you to build multiple troops in increments of 5. So I think that just built 20. Okay, 15. So yeah, we'll have 15, and as soon as they're done building, they'll pretty much walk over there. And then I think I might want some horsemen as well. The only bad thing that I see from building horsemen is that their attack speed seems to be like really slow, like the animation of their attack. But I'm not sure their actual attack speed. But the visual is pretty slow. But their speed's nice as well, so that's the pluses and minuses. Let's see here. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start building home to troops, and I'll be back. Alright guys, so we are back. I don't have my full military strength yet, but I did start building quite a few units, and I am building tons of housing in order for me to actually be able to sustain the units. And so yeah, I'm just continuing building that. Now, one tip that I did want to go ahead and go over is that when you're low on a resource, but you have lots of military force like this right here, that's like 50 men. Then you see how I'm really low on wood, and that's restraining me from building more troops. I can just go ahead and tell them to chop down the entire forest. This guy can go ahead and stay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him on guard mode, which pretty much makes him so that he just kind of sits there and does nothing, which is what I want him to do for now. So yeah, they were in the middle of hunting, you know, mining and everything, but I want them to chop down this forest. Now I do know they're all holding resources, so let's go ahead and make them put them in here first. As you can see, they're all like holding iron and stone. So you can go ahead and select them and right click this, and you'll see some sort of iron sign or material sign, and that pretty much tells them to put it back into the storehouses and stuff so that you can collect it. And then right after that, send them wood chopping. I think for the most part these guys are all ready, so it's wood chopping time. Alright, so just in a sec, these guys should all be ready. Okay, you can just go over here. Alright, so he's out of the select pool. Now that they're all ready, we're just gonna chop down this entire, like, area right here. And it should spike my wood growth by a lot, because military, workers en masse, since you build them for an army, can also be really useful. And since they are near the front line, they'll still be ready to fight just in case enemies do attack. And I'm just gonna have these these five settlers constantly be building houses, and that allows me to sustain a good enough population to build more military. So yeah, I usually don't like building ranged units, but they are really good, like with a good mix of infantry. So what you want to do is pretty much kind of split up. I usually build like a small portion of range units, like usually javelin units, since most factions have javelin units, and then I have most of my forces as main infantry. But unless I'm playing the Persians, which they specialize in cavalry and archery, I build a majority of archery and just a little bit of their champion units, or their like royal guard, I think is what they have. I'm not 100% sure, but as like kind of just a defense to hold off, and that's usually what I do. So you can see our wood production, it's 470. They're putting in a lot of wood right now, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, we have these guys going. Usually when I'm putting guys to work, I put them in no formation so that they get over there faster. It's just something that I see that works a little bit better. So yeah, we still have these people working. I can go ahead and make one of them just start on the next house construction, to make it easier. Where's the entrance to this house? There we go. Alright, and then we can just tell them to go ahead and build that. So yeah, major force, that's pretty much just a tip that I wanted to do, mention, because I do have lots of metal and stone already. So yeah, wood now. Alright, well that's pretty much it, and yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut to when I have my army. Alright guys, we are back after quite a long time, to be honest, but this is pretty much the army I amassed, or created. I do have quite a few warriors here. I have 85 of skirmishers and 35 champion units. I have 1 leader and 10 ranged, and 17 pretty much basic units, or just main infantry. And over here I have 5 infantry. No, sorry, not infantry. I have 5 siege units, so I'm gonna go ahead and use these to go ahead and siege the right side here. We can make that one go over there. So all of these guys are just running out here, and I am going to put them in a box formation. Actually no formation at all. We're just gonna charge this right here. But the thing with formations are they actually are pretty key to battle. My favorite ones are probably the box formation and the line close. Line close is really good for moving in, and I would usually prefer that one, but if it's in a tight space, then box is really good. It pretty much makes the stronger units on the outside and then enclosing the weaker units, which is pretty efficient. And yeah, so I do have my leader up in here. Where's he? Yeah, he's right here. So pretty much he gives bonus HP to nearby units. And now that the enemy forces are coming, I am going to go ahead and make them go into combat with enemy forces. Now since the bot was on really easy, I'm guessing it's not gonna be like that bad of a battle here. I'm gonna go and make these guys this turret. So they can go there, that one goes there, this one can go here, this one can go over here, I suppose. Right, so it's like an all-out murder. Most of my troops are kind of just standing there. Alright, let's go and, yeah, so you kind of just want to go in combat like this. This is usually how I do combat, especially when you completely outnumber the enemies. You kind of just murder them. And these siege units can just go and take care of turrets. So I'll go ahead and use these units to go in and kill settlers. Now, killing settlers is pretty efficient for messing up the enemy economy, and it can also be used as an early rush tactic, which I'll probably demonstrate eventually. Alright, look at most of our units are destroying houses as well. Alright. So I'm just telling these siege units to go ahead and rush the turrets. Buildings can come down later since they don't really do as much. Go over there. Right. What are you doing? Alright, we can just use these to go ahead and go for the main building. So these troops are kind of just spreading out over here. Okay, they do have a turret.
Yes, see?
I'm gonna come over here and kill those people. So yeah, looks like okay, so now what I usually do when they've taken down the main defenses and I really don't want to, like, need to control them, I put them on violent. And when you put them on violent, they literally kill anything within a certain range. Anything. Buildings, people, they just go aggro and crazy and they destroy everything. So that's essentially what I just did, made them all violent, so they'll kind of path easier themselves when you're invading. And that's just what I tend to put them on, so... Now they're just murdering everything. I'll send this small group to go ahead and take out that turret. And yeah, but of course, when when things are out of range, they stop attacking. But yeah, it looks like this is a pretty clean invasion. Doesn't look like I had many losses. They have troops coming in from this area, so I'm going to use this squad to go and clear it out. Yeah. First-hand combat right here. Alright, let's go ahead and move on now. Alright, so it looks like they have some farms over here. Ooh, is that another? What is this? Yeah, another civic center. Alright, so we're gonna have to take this down as well. Looks like they're trying to rebuild settlers, so I'm gonna deploy some of my men to go and destroy that. And we have some guys on this flank wrecking buildings, which is good. Alright, so and yeah, I guess that can just be destroyed. Anything else pushed out here? Looks like the territory still extends to this point. Maybe they have something right here in this black space. I doubt it though. Yeah, okay, so it turns out they don't actually have anything there. Then just attack that. Yeah, so they're on violent mode, so they'll just chase down and kill settlers and people and such. Alright, what's going on over here? So it looks like everything over here is pillage, actually. So we can just select everything and send them here. Yeah, so it looks like their territory, usually they would have red lines in this region, but it all, like, disappeared, mainly because their civic center was destroyed. So that's what you really want to aim for. If your enemy has tons of houses, tons of farms and everything, then what you want to do is you want to rush the civic center. So I would usually have the siege units attacking the civic center while I have main infantry defending off the enemy infantry, and that pretty much allows the siege units to quickly destroy the civic center while not taking much damage. And that's efficient mainly because, okay, this one settler is just gonna run. That's mainly efficient because once the civic center is destroyed, all buildings will slowly deteriorate in HP, because that's how most buildings operate when they're not nearby inside your territory. So yeah, so that's pretty much just a quick win. I'm sure if the enemy was not on very easy, he would have a lot more forces and would have put up a bigger fight. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the mini-series, and yeah, see you guys next time.